Hello, everybody, and I would like to thank my wonderful subscribers.
Hello, everybody, and today we are going to be watching Mr. Nightmare 3 Shadari Shadari Heightened Horror Stories. This was made 7 hours ago. Okay, well, it was put out 7 hours ago. I'm pretty sure he might have a schedule. But, yeah. I have not been hiking. Well, okay, I have, but I'm not a hiker, sometimes when we're on vacation, we'll, hike up a hill, or, in a wooded area, but that's not really hiking. Or at least, I'm not into hiking like that. But, maybe the people in these stories are into hiking. And today, we are going to watch how their interest in hiking is about to ruin their lives. And this will make me feel better about not hiking. Yeah, do this. Can I say that word right, even? Okay. Hiking horror situations. Yeah, do this, baby. Story 1, JM.
I've been hiking solo for about 6 years now.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable enough in the wilderness that I don't need to stick to main trails anymore, which is probably what got me into this situation in the first place.
Confidence.
This happened last October in the Monongahela National Forest in West Virginia. I'd driven up from Virginia for a long weekend, planning to hit some of the more remote sections that didn't see much traffic. The weather was perfect, mid-50s if I had to guess.
Okay.
Overcast, but not rainy. I was looking forward to some real solitude.
Okay.
I was maybe 4 hours into the hike
I get it.
when I reached what I can only describe as a gorge.
Oh,
it wasn't some massive canyon or anything, but it was deep enough. Probably 30 or 40 feet down to a rocky bottom with a small creek running through it. Not a guaranteed death if you fell, but you'd definitely break something. And the walls looked impossible to climb with all that loose shale and overhang. There was this massive fallen oak wedged between both sides at a slight angle. It was pretty thick. The bark was worn smooth from weather and probably other hikers using it as a bridge.
No.
I inspected it for a few minutes to make sure it was sturdy, then decided it looked solid enough for me.
It's not a
took
bridge.
my time getting across, trying to maintain focus. I safely reached the other side, and by the time I was back on solid ground, I realized I'd gotten a really nice adrenaline rush from the balancing act.
Yeah?
But then I heard this rhythmic thunking sound behind me.
It broke.
I turned around, and there was a guy on the other side of the gorge, maybe 10 feet from where the tree met the bank.
Yeah? What was he doing? Dude, a second before he said something, I was going to say, man, I bet that thing is going to disappear, or it's gonna break. If this guy breaks the bridge, oh, I'm gonna be happy. Or sad.
He was older, definitely in his 50s, wearing this ratty camo jacket and old-looking jeans. He also had a scraggly beard that made him kind of look like your stereotypical lumberjack.
Yeah.
It took me a second to realize what he was holding. It
Saw.
was an axe. A full-size axe.
Damn.
Maybe he really was a lumberjack.
Maybe.
But I couldn't think. I was still in shock at the sight of it.
Why?
He walked right over to the base of the tree and started swinging his axe at me.
Damn.
I shouted across at him, asking what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
He didn't even look up. He just kept swinging.
What do you need me to do?
I watched as one of his swings landed a little deeper than the others. The tree shifted slightly. I yelled louder, telling him to stop, and that I'd just crossed the gorge on that thing.
Yeah.
It dawned on me that this guy probably already knew that.
Yeah.
And he was trying to strand me on the other side. He didn't show.
Man, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Because you can't stop him. You're on the other side of what he's cutting. If you were to try to go up to him, you could fall to your death. And what are you gonna do when if you manage to get over to him? What, push him? Are you gonna hit him? He has a saw. All you can really do is either keep yelling at him or call 911. And I don't even know if that other one would count. What crime is he committing? Vandalism?
Any signs of stopping.
Yeah, he
so
didn't.
I yelled increasingly insulting things at him.
Why?
Stuff that didn't even make sense.
Ha.
I finally yelled that I'd need to cross back to the other side.
Yeah.
And that's when he finally looked up at me
Damn.
and said, "That's not my problem."
Damn!
He said it so casually,
Huh.
like I'd asked him about the weather.
Yeah?
I don't know why, but his casual tone infuriated me. And I admit, I kind of lost it a little.
Yeah?
I
What did you
started
do?
full-on screaming at him. I said some nasty things,
Ooh.
and in hindsight, that probably wasn't the brightest decision.
Yeah.
I
He
can't
had the
remember
weapon.
exactly what, but something I must have said hit a nerve because he stopped swinging the axe abruptly. He actually set it down on the ground before taking a few steps closer to the
Oh,
edge.
shit.
I could see his face more clearly after that.
What?
It was not a pleasant sight. His
Okay.
eyes were sunken and dark almost.
Ooh.
Like the skin around them was dark too, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I guess.
He leaned over the edge and told me something that I'll never forget.
What?
"I know these woods a lot better than you do." Something about the way he said it scared me.
Ooh.
Not threatening exactly,
Yeah.
but certain. Like he was stating a fact I'd be stupid to argue with. We
Ooh.
stared at each other for what felt like forever.
Is he that he
Then he
died?
picked up the axe, turned around, and walked back into the trees.
Wait, what?
I didn't say anything after him. What was there to say?
Yeah.
I stood there trying to process what had happened.
Yeah.
The tree was still wedged in place, but I could tell it wasn't stable anymore.
Yeah, no, you
The
can't
edge
go
on his
anywhere.
side was splintered and cracked. I wanted to cross back to the other side right then and there,
You
but there was
can't.
no way I was entrusting my weight to that tree now.
Yeah, no.
I pulled out my phone, but it had zero service.
Damn!
I
You
decided
can't
to
even
cut
call
the hike
911.
I was mad for sure, but I was
Yeah.
also genuinely spooked.
Yeah.
I think anyone else in my position would have been too. Something about that encounter felt wrong in a way I couldn't articulate.
I mean,
I started walking downstream, figuring I'd find another crossing and it would take me back in the...
yeah, that was kind of my point. All you really have to do is keep following your edge until it goes somewhere. Because, like, the Earth doesn't just cut off at that point completely. All you have to do is keep going until you meet the point where it will loop back to the other side.
direction I'd come from anyway, but I was dead wrong. I walked for what must have been an hour, and the gorge only got deeper. I was pretty sure the gap was widening too. I
Shit.
kept thinking I'd find a spot where I could cross, but every turn just revealed more impossible terrain. To make
Shit.
matters worse,
You're doomed.
the sun was starting to drop. I was
Shit.
beginning to panic. It was getting
What about your
dark, and I
service?
was miles from my car in the opposite direction I needed to go.
Yeah.
I started seriously considering whether I'd have to climb down into the gorge and back out.
What?
As insane as that seemed.
No.
Just then, I stumbled on what looked like a campsite.
Oh
It
no.
was sitting in this
It's
little
him.
clearing with a fire pit that looked recently used.
It's him.
At first, I was relieved that maybe there was a fellow
No.
camper or hiker that could help me.
A
The more I
lumberjack?
looked around, the more wrong it felt.
What?
I realized that there were these carvings on the surrounding trees.
Oh no.
Not like initials or anything
Demonic?
recognizable, just these deep gouges and symbols. There were also a bunch of weird objects scattered around, like rusted tools and pieces of cloth tied to branches,
Oh,
what looked like
no.
animal bones arranged in patterns. It was
Yeah, no, that's
freaky.
weird.
As soon as I saw that stuff, I basically hightailed it out of there. I was about twice as scared as I had been 2 minutes ago,
Yeah.
which was saying something. And then, as if it couldn't get any worse,
Dude, hang
I
back.
started hearing sounds behind me, stalking me.
Oh no,
Footsteps,
he's
or
behind
something
you.
like
He's
footsteps.
waiting.
Every time I spun around, though, everything went silent.
Yeah.
I started thinking some kind of predator was trailing me. I picked up my pace, hoping whatever was behind me would lose interest. But no.
Okay.
If anything, the sounds only got louder and honestly a little closer.
Oh no.
What happened next is still the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced.
What?
As soon as I heard the next sound, I looked over my shoulder for like the 20th time and caught a glimpse of someone ducking behind a tree.
The lumberjack?
I froze and scanned the trees.
What did he
and I
look
realized
like?
there wasn't just one. There was another figure further to the left.
Shit!
They'd fanned out. I was being herded. I
Shit!
don't know what made me realize they'd given up on hiding, but suddenly I could hear them moving more openly. I saw what looked like a pipe or a club in one of their hands.
Oh no.
And that was it. I just started running,
Yeah.
knowing I couldn't play dumb for much longer. And the
You
exact
run.
thing I was dreading happened.
They came
started chasing after me, clearly not concerned with being stealthy anymore.
Shit, you better
explain
run.
how scary it was.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what they wanted. I was in the middle of the woods, lost, and the sun had almost set.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in a life or death situation.
You probably were.
How I was able to run so fast for so long.
Yeah.
I ran faster than I knew I could, and definitely faster than I'd ever run before.
Wow.
One of the people behind me started screaming. Not words, just screams. Like war cry type screams.
Okay.
The stuff of nightmares, and I mean that. I kept running. The gorge was still on my left.
Yeah.
And just when I felt myself slowing down out
of
exhaustion,
gonna jump?
I saw another fallen tree.
Oh.
It was much smaller than the first one had been, but I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you ran.
Without thinking, I mounted it and started making my way across. I didn't even have time to see if it was sturdy.
Yeah, no.
Thinking about it now, I was betting my entire life on a tree.
Yeah.
It was so tense, and I was so tired that I honestly thought I was going to slip and fall.
But you kept going?
And I made it across.
Good.
As soon as I made it, I turned around.
What?
There were actually 3 figures following me.
Why would you turn around?
They all looked like carbon copies of that first guy who had stranded me.
Damn.
They were filthy, and one of them was in fact holding a pipe.
Yeah.
I watched as the first one put his hand on the tree like he was going to cross.
Yeah.
Then he stepped back down.
What?
The 3 of them looked at me menacingly, and for some reason, I found myself unable to move again.
Why?
Then one of them told me to get the out of there, and that I had gotten lucky.
How?
That was all I needed to hear. I turned and did exactly what they told me to.
Okay.
I kept expecting to hear them behind me, but the forest had gone eerily quiet.
Oh no.
The darkness didn't help either.
No animals
and there were a couple times when I had to fight a full-on breakdown. I must have run at an angle that eventually brought me back toward the trailhead, or maybe I just got impossibly lucky.
Yeah.
But I did eventually find it. I reported what I could after driving back home, but I knew there was nothing anyone could or would do.
Yeah.
It's been months now. I still hike.
Yeah.
But it's honestly not as enjoyable anymore.
Yeah.
I really hope I start enjoying it again.
You don't have
used to be my absolute favorite thing to do, and now I can't even enjoy it without thinking about that experience.
I mean,
it's just so freaky.
I guess.
That first guy with the axe, especially.
Yeah.
The way he looked at me when he said those things, as if he knew exactly what was going to happen to me. He probably did. Hell, he had probably orchestrated it all.
Yeah, he probably in a toll.
I might have lost my life that day in the woods.
Okay, so here are my feelings about that one. First, it was obviously some sort of like fleeting toll or fleeting forest group of people. They wanted to kill you, and if I had to guess why they didn't run after you over the tree, it's because they probably knew it wasn't stable enough to hold them. Maybe you were like skinnier than they were. Because the first guy, he started chopping at a stable tree. So now we must ask the question, why didn't he do that to this one? And if I had to guess a reason, it's because the other one wasn't as stable. And that's why he didn't chop it down. Maybe they realized, oh hey, if somebody crosses this, they'll probably fall down and we can get them or they will die. But when you managed to cross over without an issue, they had to like give you up because you didn't die and they couldn't follow you because they were too big. And like, man, you don't have to hide. Like, I guess like maybe your exposure to therapy, maybe like, oh, expose yourself to your fears, but like, I don't know, you don't have to do it anymore. Like, I don't think I would be able to do my favorite activities if I almost died doing them. Story 2 by Checklist. Really? You gave me an ad? An ad? Right before I got into Story 2? Really? Okay. I get it. You hate me. Okay, but, yeah, just go ahead. Story 2.
This happened 3 years ago. I know a lot of people drag things out.
Yeah.
But I don't see the need to do that, so I'm just gonna say exactly what happened as it happened.
Okay.
I was hiking through a remote section of forest in northern Minnesota,
Yeah.
way off any marked trails. I've always
Not
preferred
good.
it that way. The actual wilderness, not
Yeah.
the sanitized version you get on popular trails with their wooden markers and worn paths.
Okay.
Just me and the woods, the way they're supposed to be. I'd been
Okay.
out there for maybe 4 hours when I noticed I'd lost my bearings. It happens sometimes when you're not following it.
Yeah, here's the thing about the wilderness. As fun as it is, you do realize that ancient humans used to die in those woods, right? The only thing that kept them alive was, one, that they were determined and never gave up, and two, that they mostly hunted in groups. And you're not with anybody, and I don't know how determined you are. So, like, I don't know. I would be happy that you live in a day and age where, like, you can have a sanitized version of nature. Because, like, killers and murderers aren't the only evil things in the woods. You could get poison, ivy. You could, get a rash. You could get bitten by a snake. You could have a bear encounter. You could, slip and break a bone. You could be out of range and not able to get a signal. Those are a ton of bad things, and they have nothing to do with people.
Trail, but usually I can orient myself pretty quickly.
How?
This time was
The
different.
sun?
Nothing looked familiar.
Yeah.
The sun was still high enough that I wasn't in immediate danger, but that
Good.
sick feeling of being lost was already settling into my stomach.
Good.
I tried to stay calm and kept walking,
Yeah.
telling myself I'd spot something recognizable soon.
It's all the
But
same.
instead, I started
Wood.
picking up on this rustling sound behind me.
Damn.
The last thing you'd want to hear if you're in my position.
Yeah.
The rustling wasn't constant, just every 30 seconds or so, like something
Damn.
was matching my pace.
Ooh.
I'd stop, and it would stop too. I'd start walking, and there it was again. I kept telling myself it was probably a deer, but I'd hiked
Really?
enough times to know that deer don't follow people like that.
Yeah.
I kept going, but at that point, I was pretty sure I was being stalked by something.
Yeah.
And then,
You have a
all at
pocket
once, the rustling turned into movement all around me.
Shit.
It was a worst-case scenario.
What?
By the time I realized what was happening, it was too late. I was surrounded on all sides by a pack of wolves.
Oh.
6 or 7 of them, if
Okay.
I had to guess. Some of them were snarling at me, and some of them were just staring.
Shit.
But it was
You have
clear
a
to me
pocket
that
knife.
to them, I was a meal.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to go down without a fight,
You have
though.
a pocket
I
knife?
had my knife out,
Yeah.
even though I knew the odds were stacked against me. I remember thinking, this is it. This is actually how I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Alone in the woods because I was too stubborn to stick to the marked trails.
Good. Yeah.
I was trying to decide if I should make myself big or stay still or what, when every
What
single
you-
wolf suddenly went rigid.
What?
All at once, too.
What?
Not like they were reacting to each other, but rather all reacting to something else.
Oh.
Their
What?
ears shot up, and they all looked in the same direction.
What
somewhere over my
direction?
shoulder. And then they just scattered.
What?
Scattered as in full-on sprint in the opposite direction from where they'd been looking.
Shit.
Almost like they were the ones being hunted.
Oh no.
That's when the fear started setting in for real.
What?
Until that point, it had just been a wicked adrenaline rush, which makes sense given the life and death scenario I thought I was in.
Yeah.
But once I was alone again, I
What?
started getting the creeps. The first thing I noticed after the
Okay.
wolves scampered away was that the woods were completely silent.
Oh
No
no.
wind, no birds, no critters, nothing.
No wind
It was
is
like someone had flipped
horrifying.
a switch in there. It was still light out, but things felt a little dimmer. Sort of how your vision fades when you're lightheaded or right before you're about to pass out.
Oh no.
But the worst part by far
Yeah?
was why the wolves had run off in the first place.
There was a bigger
I mean,
threat.
they had been scared of something, that much
Yeah.
was obvious. But whatever could have scared off an entire pack of wolves from a long distance away,
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I needed to keep moving, but I felt really unsettled. even in the daylight.
Okay.
I kind of wanted to follow the wolves.
Why?
I was pretty certain I had been walking in the right direction to begin with. So I was at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Follow the wolves just to potentially get encircled again and get even more lost?
No.
Or continue in the right direction and possibly encounter whatever it was that had scared them off?
Oh yeah, no, those are both
choice.
bad.
I ultimately decided to keep walking in the direction I thought would take me out of the woods.
Yeah,
which meant walking toward whatever it was that the wolves had been freaked out by.
You have a knife?
My logic was I could waste an hour walking the way the wolves had come from, only to turn around anyway and have to walk back in the dark.
Yeah.
Or just bite my tongue and walk that way while I still had daylight.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. Maybe 20 minutes later, I saw what looked like a clearing up ahead. For a second, I thought it might have been a campsite.
It not?
I could see what looked like a fire ring. But as I got closer, I realized it was wrong.
It was
all wrong. There were symbols carved into the trees surrounding the clearing.
Wow.
Not initials or trail markers. These were intentional, deep cuts forming patterns I didn't recognize.
Like a four.
It gets worse, though. Things were hanging from the branches on what looked like leather cords. Some looked like bones. Small ones, maybe from birds or rodents. Others were metal, rusted, and twisted into shapes that hurt to look at. The fire pit in the center wasn't just a ring of stones. The stones were delicately stacked on top of one another, like structures. There was weird stuff in the fire pit, too. Pieces of cloth, what looked like jewelry, and other objects I couldn't really identify.
You went that close?
Really freak out. The smoke. There was this thick, black smoke that was just hanging in the air about 6 feet from the ground.
What?
It wasn't moving or dissipating.
What?
And it didn't look like it was coming from the fire pit either. It was just there.
Oh.
I really wish I could say it was just leftover smoke from the fire pit.
Yeah, no.
The fire pit didn't even look like it had been used recently. I stood at the edge of that clearing.
Why?
I was frozen to the spot. For some reason, I just couldn't look away from that smoke. My eyes kept tracking back to it, even when I tried focusing on something else.
Why are you still there?
I really have trouble describing the feeling.
Why?
But it felt like I was looking through a window at something instead of just being there.
Horror?
Like, it felt like I was standing at my kitchen window, looking out into the backyard, instead of actually being in the backyard.
Like watching a movie.
I don't really know what that means, but that's what it felt like. There was this feeling building in my chest, like grief and terror mixed together. But for some reason, that hadn't happened yet.
What?
It was almost like my body was mourning something in advance.
Oh.
I've never felt anything like it before or since.
You think like a panic attack?
I must have stood there for 5 minutes, just staring at that smoke, before something in my brain finally kicked back online.
Do it.
And no, the smoke didn't dissipate in that time.
No.
It just stayed there. I finally worked up the strength to turn around and run. I didn't walk or jog, I literally ran.
Okay.
I was overwhelmed with fear. I didn't know what I was running from, but there was this feeling in my gut that told me I needed to get out of the woods.
Maybe it was the black
smoke. My memory kind of gets foggy after that. I think it's because of how scared I was.
Yeah.
So scared that my instincts took over. But part of me thinks the reason my memory faded was somehow connected to whatever the hell was in the woods.
Maybe.
The smoke, or the thing that caused the smoke, or something else entirely. I don't know. The next thing I remember is it being dark out. Meaning I must have been in those woods for another good hour or so.
Damn!
I was drenched in sweat and, strangely, freezing cold at that point.
Ew.
But I was nearly out of the woods. I was approaching my car. I got in and drove off without another thought. And that was that. I never reported what I found.
Why?
What would I even say? I couldn't find that clearing again if I tried. And that's even if I remembered things clearly, which I didn't.
Yeah.
This will forever be one of those experiences that just doesn't have an explanation. When I told my dad about what happened,
he
just said that everyone has that one experience sooner or later.
What?
Well, this is mine. And the thing that I still think about from time to time is not how those wolves behaved, how that campsite looked, or even that impossible smoke that just hung in the air.
What is it?
It's the memory loss.
Yeah?
From all the research I've done, scary moments get remembered better, not worse. So I have no choice but to think that everything that happened that day was connected.
Okay. The smoke. I can't believe it. I can't believe the smoke. If anybody in the comments knows oh, how that could happen. Like, sometimes Shimote can do that if it is exposed to this, or maybe to that. Do you think he was hallucinating? Do you think there was some bad chemical mixed into the fireplace? Like LCD or whatever? LSD? Whichever one. But yeah. This story started out pretty normal. I was actually pretty surprised when the pack of wolves appeared. I was fully expecting it to be another, oh, there are like cults, or like evil like lumberjacks or whatever. But no, it was a pack of wolves, and it started to feel like, okay, this is a scary story. The only difference is that it's real. And it's not man-made either. It's like natural horror. And like, but then it kind of turned into like this kind of magical fantasy with the runes and the carvings and the fire. So yeah, at that point it started to get weird. Honestly, I think he might have been tripping balls, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Some sort of hallucinogenic, maybe? That or the black smoke was real? I don't know. But okay, let's get into the last one, which is Joseph Dream's story. What about you? What was your story about?
Meet Jim Monster 2.
God, why didn't... Dude, you know, these are in good places. Like, right in between each. That's a good place for an ad.
Back when I was younger, me and my friends loved to go camping.
Okay.
Once we got our licenses at 16, we were out almost every weekend camping in new spots.
Oh.
Our parents didn't really care as long as we were able to protect ourselves.
Do you have a knife?
For this reason, my dad let us borrow one of his guns.
Okay.
It was a Taurus G2C.
I don't know what that is.
This happened when we were 18 and seniors in high school.
Okay.
In February, me and my girl Megan, my friend Colin and his girlfriend Anne, were gonna drive to Arkansas and backpack the Ozarks to look at some natural waterfalls.
That's cool.
It was a 9-hour drive from where we lived, so we left early and made it there around 7 p.m. We set up camp at one of the setup sites for the night since it was late and we were tired.
Okay.
My girl and I were sharing a tent, and Colin and his girl were sharing another. I had the gun in my tent.
Oh.
Nothing happened on the first night. The next morning, we woke up and made breakfast and drove to the start of the trail.
Nothing happened?
We were gonna hike to a waterfall and then go find a place to set up camp. On the hike to the waterfall, Anne kept saying she saw someone standing still and staring at her.
Oh no.
But he had been following and she hadn't seen him move.
What?
So we stopped to look, and we saw a man quickly run away.
Oh no.
Colin yelled at him to f*** off or we'll kick his ass.
We have a gun.
Probably for show to impress his girl. We were capable of defending ourselves though if needed.
Yeah.
We continued the hike and didn't see him again.
Good.
We eventually made it to the waterfall, and there we had lunch and took pictures.
Nice.
After about 2 hours, we decided to go find a place to camp before it got dark. While we were looking for a place to set up camp, I noticed a freakishly tall, skinny woman staring at us.
Oh no.
She had to be at least 6'5". It genuinely freaked me out. I pointed her out, and everyone else got unsettled too.
Yeah.
We yelled at her to leave us alone and told her we had a gun.
Yeah.
She turned around and walked away. We decided to...
Okay, listen, guys. You have had 2 really creepy people looking at you and being near you and being creepy near you. What you need to do now is pack it up and go home, okay? 2 creepy people is enough for me. 1 time, it's nothing. 2 times, it might be a coincidence. But after that, I'm going home. I don't care about a 3rd chance.
Hike further since we were all creeped out. We had no idea if the 2 weirdos were connected somehow.
I don't know.
After another hour, we found a nice spot next to a small flowing creek with a relatively deep pool of water.
Yeah.
So we decided to get in the water and relax.
Wait, what? where you're vulnerable?
Around, we talked about the earlier incidents and joked that they were probably hillbillies on drugs.
Maybe.
When the sun started to set,
hillbillies can be dangerous.
We brought chicken breast to grill, rice and vegetables to boil, and some potatoes.
I don't like any of those foods.
While I was cooking, Colin set up his tent and helped me with mine. I finished cooking, and we ate before cracking open some of the alcohol we brought.
Intoxication.
I was, and still am, a pretty heavy smoker, so I brought some weed and papers to roll up. We wanted to have a good time since we put a lot of money into this trip.
Yeah.
We told stories and laughed in our intoxicated state.
You know you're
got to a point where Colin fell out of his chair and just laid on the ground laughing.
No, that's weird.
We did this late into the night and eventually went to our tents. Megan and I were messing around in our tent when we suddenly heard someone laughing outside.
Oh no.
At first, I thought it was Colin laughing at us for some reason. So I yelled, "What's so funny?" Colin yelled back, "That wasn't me."
Oh shit.
That sank my soul and immediately sobered me up.
Yeah.
I grabbed the gun, rushed out of the tent, and fired a few shots into the air, yelling for whoever it was to leave us alone or I'd shoot them.
How many shots
do you have? That seemed to be the trick, because I heard footsteps running away.
Damn.
We moved our tents closer together and decided to have one person stay up at a time as lookout.
What?
The next day...
You're not going home? Dude. Remember what I said about me not giving it a third chance? You guys gave it a third chance and decided to not leave after that. What? 1. You see a creepy man following you. 2. You see a creepy woman looking at you. 3. You hear somebody laughing at you at night outside of your tent. That is 3 strikes. 1 time, it might be random. 2 times, it might be random, but they could be connected. 3 times, they're all connected. So no, you guys are crazy. I don't know why you guys wouldn't go home immediately. How are you still having fun anymore? You're taking shifts now.
Early, but ultimately decided against it.
What?
We were sure we'd scared off whoever it was.
Yeah,
so maybe. We planned to hike somewhere closer to the exit and camp for one final night.
Okay.
After breakfast, we packed up camp
and
started the hike back. During the hike, we ran into some other hikers and told them what had happened.
Yeah.
They were freaked out too.
I hope.
We chatted for a bit, then continued on.
Good.
We stopped for lunch. I realized those were the only other people we'd seen so far.
Yeah.
Despite there being a ton of cars in the parking lot earlier.
Oh, that's weird.
After lunch, we continued down the trail, and after about 6 miles, we decided to set up camp.
Okay.
We were around 3 miles from the nearest exit. We pitched our tents and cooked steak and potatoes for dinner.
That doesn't sound close.
We ate, drank, and smoked again before heading to the tents. In the middle of the night, I woke up needing to pee, so I stepped out of the tent.
Pisser.
Out of paranoia, I made sure to bring the gun.
Yeah, good.
While I was peeing, I heard leaves crunching nearby.
Oh no.
My heart immediately stopped.
Pee in the tent.
Finished up, pulled up my pants, and turned on my headlamp.
What?
The beam revealed the man from the day before, standing in the distance, holding a machete.
Oh shit!
I could see him clearly.
Oh shit. Dude! Why? Why would you pee? Listen, if I'm you, and my friends shuttered me into dying one more night, I would not pee. I would pee in the tent. I would pee in a bottle. I would sit my dick outside the tent to pee. I'm not leaving my tent. You know, houses and tents are actually pretty similar. Sure, they feel safe, but here's the difference. Well, here's the similarity. No matter how safe you think both of them are, they can always be broken into. You break the window, you shoot the door handle. The only difference between the two is that a house will always feel more safer than a tent. Yeah, even a tent isn't safe, but I would rather be in a tent than be outside. You are crazy. You are crazy for being able to pull your pants down when you already had 3 sleepy situations. You are bonkers.
My pants and turned on my headlamp. The beam revealed the man from the day before, standing in the distance, holding a machete.
You're lucky he didn't kill you while you were peeing.
I could see him clearly this time. Long, dirty black hair and super lanky. I screamed and raised the gun as he started charging at me.
Oh shit!
I fired off every shot I had and must have hit him somewhere, because I heard him yell and saw him fall.
Yeah, good.
By now, Colin, Megan, and Anne were all awake.
Yes.
I told them to pack up. We needed to leave fast.
What? No.
I didn't want to involve the police since I wasn't sure if I could get charged for something.
For
honestly, his life didn't seem worth it. We didn't bother packing the tents.
It doesn't have to be worth it.
We grabbed our bags and practically ran the final 3 miles, making it back to the cars in under an hour. We climbed in, locked the doors, and decided to sleep in the car for the night. We covered the windows and tried to get some rest. When we woke up in the morning, we left immediately and stopped for breakfast at a diner in a small town.
Good.
We never called the cops, and I'm still conflicted about whether we should have.
Yeah, you
this
should have.
This happened years ago, and no reports about it ever came out.
Yeah.
So for all I know, those psychopaths are still out there.
Okay, listen, you guys should have told the police. Maybe you could have gotten charged with something, but I'm pretty sure in most states, you can easily use the self-defense thing. You know why? Because he had a machete. A machete. As long as you don't move the body, and in the body is still in the same position it was, I'm pretty sure the cops are gonna believe you guys. Especially since there's so many of you. Yeah, you can all corroborate your alibis together. Yeah, okay, you were right. Maybe his life isn't worth it. But do you know whose life is worth it? Anybody else who could have been like you, but they didn't have a weapon. Imagine if they had a pocket knife, and that's what they had. I'm pretty sure the machete guy could easily kill them. So imagine what would have happened if you let him live. You did let him live. And that was a poor choice, because now he might still be out there. Even if he did die, though, maybe his friends, maybe they were his friends, or at least one friend. But maybe if that person, maybe if you told the police, we could have figured out who the other person is. Yeah, no, he was obviously going to tell you guys. All you had to do was tell the police. Because unlike the other people, I am sure you could have told the police. This time. The other two, I don't know. But I'm sure you guys could have told the police. So, okay. I am going to rate these people on how much I related to them. Okay, so the least relatable was number 3. These guys had the numbers, and they had multiple run-ins with weird shit, and they didn't leave. Okay? After that, I'm gonna put number 2. I'm not like him, but I don't know how he would act. He didn't really give me a lot of detail on his situation, and it all sounded really creepy. But I probably would have done the same thing. The most relatable in the last one. He was on a hike. He was on a normal hike. he crossed a tree, and then this guy comes out and starts chopping. Our main character did nothing wrong, and everything he did after that was just to get back to his car. So yeah, 1 is the most relatable, 2 is sorta but not really, and 3, no. I would not do that at all. So yeah, that is my ranking for this video, and I hope to see you guys next time for more Mr. Nightmare. Goodbye!